Welcome back, everybody. Medical Mondays again. Took a week off because I went on vacation in Hawaii for a buddy who got married. Congratulations, Joe and Nancy. Anyways, I want to talk to you about something that happened on my flight on the way to Hawaii. My wife and I were sitting there, and all of a sudden we heard this scream from a kid about 2 or 3 rows up ahead of us. We thought it was just, noisy kid. He was just screaming, but this was blood curdling. The kid was just screaming and screaming and screaming and wouldn't stop. All of a sudden we heard somebody come on the intercom and say, "Hey, is there a doctor, or if there's a nurse, please let yourself be known." I ended up talking with the stewardess and come to find out that a mom had actually ordered a hot tea and had spilled the hot water all over her child, and the child was screaming because he had burns all over his chest and his neck. What do you do in this situation? You're flying 10,000 feet above the air, some medical problem or emergency goes down, especially with burns, or if you're driving around, you got a coffee, you pour a hot coffee in your lap or on your chest. What's the best way to treat these burns the fastest? Number one, you want to take whatever clothes you have on off that's covered in the hot liquid. So if you have chemicals or hot coffee, anything like that, take those clothes off because that's going to allow the skin to breathe. Second thing you want to do is find something cold. You could either do some cold compresses, cold towels, things like that. If you're in an airline though, the main thing I want you to remember is that all airlines actually have a really comprehensive first aid kit. Now, this medical kit has everything you would ever need for burns. It has different medications for pain. It has medications if a person is having a heart attack. It even has medications if a woman is having a baby on the flight. So it's a really comprehensive medical kit that they have on every single flight. Now, if there isn't a doctor or a nurse on board, the good thing is the stewardesses and stewards are trained to actually call the medical supervisor on the ground. So every flight actually has a medical supervisor assigned to that flight. So they could call the medical supervisor and find out what to do so they could treat these people while in the air if there's no medical professional. They brought the first aid kit out to me. We end up cracking it open and find out that there was a couple really good burn pads in the medical kit. So we put the burn pads and put burn salve all over the kid. After a while of screaming, he settled himself down, went to sleep. At the end of the 6-hour flight, most of his burns were already healed, which was great. He just had a small little blister here on the chest, but everything else looked phenomenal. So it was a good story, good news for that kid. If you end up burning yourself, the main things you want to do are take that part of the burn clothes off so you don't have contact with the skin anymore. Put some cool compresses on the area and start using any type of salve you can. If you can only get to some sort of cream like Aveeno or Lubriderm or even aloe vera, start globbing that on. Don't rub it into the skin because you can cause irritation of the skin. Just glob on a good layer of that over the burn. Other things that you can use that are home remedies that actually work are any type of creams that you can find in the house that are nice and thick and gelatinous. Those can cover the wound, as well as egg whites is also a great wound cover. So those are some things you could do with first degree and second degree burns, whether you're driving and you pour coffee on yourself, or you're on a flight and somebody ends up pouring coffee on themselves. Remember also, when you're on a flight, there is a comprehensive medical kit, so if any problem goes down, 90% of the time they're going to have the medicines in order to be able to treat it while in the air, as well as every flight has a doctor assigned to it that the stewardess is going to be able to communicate with. So remember those things and have a safe flight.